Alright, what's up guys? Uh, January 24th, just another day of trading. In the description, I talked about how starting in February I'm going to reset my account and only trade when live. And the reason I'm doing this is, well, a couple of reasons actually, but here lately, actually this whole week. So, obviously Monday, the market was closed. Tuesday, Wednesday, my boy was sick, had to take him to the doctor. I was trading from pen and paper, just watching charts on my phone. Yesterday, I finished down 2,600 on while I was live, and I did take one pen and paper trade at the open because the simulator will not fill orders in the first 2 minutes. And then I took a trade later at like 11 something. Pull over the trades from yesterday. And I ended up finishing the day up 9,200 with that trade. So the first trade, the opening trade on pen and paper, ended up being almost $3,700, which kind of blew my mind when I put it in. So you can see this. I'm going to drag it out of the way and then pull the chart up. Or I might be able to make it small enough to where we can have them both on here. So So 2,000 shares at 562, and actually, it's not gonna let me go back far enough here. I guess you could see it on the 5-minute over here. I was looking at that, so the break over that level, and that's 562 was when. When I looked at the level 2, that's what it was at. So that's what I wrote down. So only 2,000 shares, which is relatively small for. Jesus, let me get this zoomed in so I quit dropping off. So 2,000 shares at 562, selling 1,000 at 652. I mean, this thing shot up fast. So 562. That was. Well, hang on. Not quite the top of the candle. I think the top of that candle was 63. But I just threw it up on the ask. It went up. It hit 63, which is, a penny past 62. But it is what it is. Whatever. And then this pullback I held, watched it shoot up. And this whole time I'm sitting there thinking, like, when can I get in on the simulator? And y'all seen me try to put in an order, didn't get filled, try to put in an order, didn't get filled, try to put in an order, and then all of a sudden 2 of the orders got filled after I'd already canceled the third. But I mean, it ended up working out for me because by the time I sold up here, I was up like $6,600, and then I lost it all getting back in at the high because I thought I was going to get halted, and then lost it on this pullback. But so 1,000, the high here is 662. 500 at $8, 250 at 865, and then 250 at 9. I did not think it was going to shoot all the way up to 970 something, but so as it was going up, I was writing all this stuff down. Since then, my boy has found that sheet of paper and made it disappear. So, anyways, there was that trade, and then the afternoon. I took a trade. Oh, hang on just a second. Okay, so I think it was like 11:50, 11:40, 11:38. So yeah, I went in a lot heavier with 6,000 shares, but I was so sick of being in the red. Let's see, 11:38. Let's just zoom in here. Well, let me pull back and try to show you what I was looking at. So it was on this little like trend here, you know, it kept making higher lows. So when it pulled back hard here, I just jumped in at, you know, right at this area. So it was actually on this green candle as it started to come back up. I wasn't going to get in on this red candle. I waited for the new candle to start and it to, you know, start moving up a little. So I hopped in with 6,000 shares, super heavy at 675. So, and then sold 1,000 at 730, which was this candle here. I waited through this dip, and then 1,000 at 750 as it was coming up to VWAP. So now I'm holding 4,000 shares. Breaks VWAP, so I'm thinking, you know, it's going to have a nice run. Sold 1,000 at 825. We had a lot of resistance around the $8 range, so I didn't know how long it would stay above it. Sold 1,000 as it came back down to 8. And I held some. Sold 1,000 at 840 up in here, and then 867, which is almost the top of this candle, but not quite. I think the top of it's like 70. And that was it. I was done on that trade. Then it looked weak, pulled back. I should have got in here as it came down to test VWAP, but it was having such strong pullbacks throughout the day. And then I wanted to get back in over this level and move on up to 9, but by that time, you know, I was back into the green. Well, actually significantly back into the green. So I just left it alone. So if you're experiencing buffering, I'm sorry. I am getting an error, and it just went away. So I have no clue what's going on there. But anyway, so that was, you know, that's yesterday. Everything else is, you know, what I did live, so nothing else really to go over there. Currently, reports, details. Oh, okay. Ha! I was like 97. That's okay. $79,675 is total profits. The past 3 days has been 34,400 and something. One red day on the month so far. But I mean, I want to reset the account February, and each month at the beginning of the month I'll reset it back to 30,000. Because when I start trading, I want to start with 30,000 in my TD Ameritrade and trade with 5 to 10 of the capital. I just need the 30 to get over to PDT, and then use 5 to 10 to actually trade with. And then my goal is just $200 to $300 a day. I'm not trying to make 6,000 to $7,000 a day. That will come, you know, a year or two after. So anyways, enough of the trader view. Let's go over the gap up scanner. So here's the gap up scanner that, you know, Dex streams every morning. His services are amazing and relatively cheap. SAEX, well, same thing happened yesterday. So AEX isn't even on it now currently. CEI, let's go see what. I don't really like CEI that much. I've never made money on it, or if I have, I don't know. I think I lose on it more often than I make money on it. You know, it shoots up really nice in pre-market, and then it fades, and then usually at the open it falls. So I'll put it on my watch. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not really expecting a lot. TNPX, I'm pretty sure this. Oh, TNXP. Pretty sure this is one we've traded a couple times in the past. See, I've already got an alert on it. Not sure from when. I have a lot of alerts set that I don't even know about until they go off. And that's usually how I trade after I shut down my live stream. I set alerts on the stocks that I'm looking at. at areas that would be like a make or break area, and I'm out playing with my boy. I hear an alert go off. I come over to my computer. I look at it. Oh, it looks good. I sit down for 5 minutes and make a trade. So, and sometimes I'll get into a trade, set an alert at like my stop, walk away, goes off, I come back, I get out. So that's how I do a lot of the trading when I'm not sitting at my desk, doing my live stream. So TNXP, man, a lot of upper shadows. Probably gonna be some resistance at 3. Let's see, what is the float on this? Go ahead and put it on my watch list before I forget. Ooh, 716K float. That's super low. That's awesome. Not a huge former runner though. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get rid of that because it's kind of irrelevant right now. So yeah, we're going to have resistance at 2. The last time it got above 2, it didn't hold and came back down. Let's go look. Let's shorten it up a little bit. So it wasn't above 2 for longer than like an hour. Pre-market, kind of the same deal. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'll definitely be watching it. KTOV. Nice little gap. If it stays above $1, set an alert for $1. CASA. Ugh, low volume. Also 31 million float. SNA or OA. SNOA. Ah, hey when that happens. Ugh, ugly. CYCC. Nope. NNVC. Oh, that sounds kind of familiar. Oh, yeah. I'm just kidding. Definitely traded it this day and made, like, I don't know, $16,000 or something. So, make sure it's still on the list. NNVC. What is NVC in? Oh, I must have already put that on there. I'm comparing the snapshot that I took of his screen and his current gap up. All the low floats have moved to the top, the top gappers. So SAEX. Take a quick glance at this. So it gapped up huge here and fell. Let's see, what was the high there? 450 basically. So right now it's gapped up to 4 and pulled back. So we'll keep it on watch. TNXP. We've already went over that one. TWMC from yesterday. It'd have to break this level here. So if it breaks this level, we'll go ahead and set an alert there. I'll be interested. Of course, then we'll have to get over $8 and then over $9. And we'll see what happens from there. similar to A2. All right, so I mean that's it on the gap scanner that I see. I'm gonna switch the commentary over to Sean Deckmar. If I can find OBS. Okay, so switch the commentary from me over to him, and then I'll come back at the end and go over whatever trades I've made and all that good jazz. All right, good luck, everybody.
And the thing is, all these patents, it's not really that big of a deal. So KTOV right here, this play does have what? This play is on slightly lower lows, does have a VWAP that's still above it, and $1 resistance. Definitely potential because of the lower float, but I cannot touch this play until probably gets above 105 and starts getting away from that $1 mark. So just gotta be smart there. If Yahoo Finance has the stock much higher, KTOV, well then it's probably that's even another kind of bad thing towards this play. Float, yeah, they have it at 18 million, so a little bit bigger, and that definitely takes it away from our kind of like 1 million that Trade Ideas has it. So it's always good to double check. And again, thank you for that. What else do we have here? So we kind of went over our top two. Those are obviously very important. Now, what else do we have here? I see a little bit of PLAG. I'm not seeing any news right now on PLAG. No news, no filing that I'm really seeing over on this. The 5 million float stock, little gap up, a couple random orders. What about SNOA? Because the thing is, any of these plays can take on off. Any of these plays can run. Any of these plays can really bring in that big time volume. SNOA 1 million in float. Let's see what we got here. SNOA news January 24th. Engages in Maxim Group LLC to explore strategic opportunities. So engages in Maxim Group LLC to explore strategic opportunities. Okay, I mean just exploring opportunities. That's like I always think about it a lot of times as like how I can relate it to my life, and basically exploring opportunities would just be seeing what your options are. Imagine you're going off to college and you visit one campus, you visit another campus, you visit another campus. Doesn't really bring in too much hype to SNOA though. It's like, oh, just exploring opportunities. It's like that's what we do every single day. We explore different options on what we can do to better ourselves. It's not really that different. NNVC, this play over on NNVC, this play, guys, was a top gainer on when was this? Tuesday, right? So NNVC was our first supernova, right? So you guys remember this? This was our first supernova of 2020. We had a $10 spike here. Now it did come out with an offering and give everything back, but yesterday it started to get a little bit of buying volume towards it. Now with that being said, we do have a nice little gap up and some decent news. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe NNVC starts getting a little bit more hype today, because NNVC yesterday, people try to move back into it. And I know it came out with an offering, but people are saying, hey, you know what? Maybe there's not anything we absolutely love. Why not just play the stock that was a supernova earlier this week, started the week with a supernova? Maybe we can end it with a very nice spike and a very nice rip. So NNVC, not getting, definitely want to keep on our watch list. So a lot of hype, a lot of potential. Thank you. Yeah, my trade idea scanners are messing up right there. I was gonna say, where did SAEX go? For some reason, my trade idea scanners weren't showing the number one. I had to, there you go, bang it out right here. SAEX is also up that we need to be talking about. So SAEX, what's going on with this play? Well, SAEX, this stock is slowly doing what? Slowly fading just a little bit, where we do have these higher lows, or excuse me, these lower lows. Lower lows usually means that the stock is going to be, crashing on off soon. But if this stock can get back above the VWAP, and that's the issue, right? Just like TNXP, just like KTOV, SAEX is below the VWAP, and SAEX is on lower lows, which usually means a sell-off is coming. But SAEX is, I didn't see it before. I apologize. Is the number one top gainer with a 42% gap up. It also has $42 million of new projects. Now, SAEX is a play that I always get excited about. And why do I get excited about this play? Because it has had some very nice supernovas in the past. I've seen SAEX go on very big rips, very big runs, $25 climbs, and it's done it multiple times. So do I like SAEX? I like it from what it has done in the past Do I like this actual chart that I'm seeing right now? No. I don't like lower lows. I don't like the downtrend. I don't like how the stock doesn't really have that much volume. And the only reason it's a gap up right now is because of its after hours spike. But it has been fading since. So is it one we want to watch? Yes. Is it one that can spike hard? It has before. Is it a lower float play with about 3 million in float? Yes. But this stock is definitely going to need a little bit of a boost. Probably breaking through 350 could start getting a little bit of attention and a little bit of hype. So the plays that I would say, stocks to watch at the bell, I'm personally going with stocks to watch at the bell. What I'm looking at is SAEX, TNXP, CEI, and then also NNCA. These are the ones that I'm thinking, have some of the best potential to take off. So let's set up a little bit of a morning poll. I know we only got about a minute and a half here, but we're going to do this quick. So let's see what you guys are thinking. Just be ready to vote because you guys usually nail it. So what stock will do the best today? What stock's going to do the best today? SAEX? Is it going to be TNXP? Is it going to be CEI? Is it going to be NNCA or NNCV? NNCV, excuse me, guys, not A. NNCV, which is the previous top gainer. So everyone go ahead, cast your vote. Let's see what everyone is looking at, okay? And that last one is NNCV, which is the previous top gainer, not NNCA. Got about a minute and a half here. Just want to be ready to rock and roll, kick off this day, have a good one, enjoy it, and I want to be able to end our Friday off on a high note. That's what we always want to do. Obviously, finish off our week on a great green note. Be able to make that big time money, and of course, go from there. Yesterday, I went 1 for 2. Was able to leave my day with about $250 in profit. Had a $500 trade and about a $250 loss. So left that trade with left that day with about $250. I think every single day this week I have been green, so that's been absolutely awesome. And that's just always nice to be able to stay consistently green. All right, market opens up in 30 seconds, so cast your vote if you guys have not yet. I'm gonna just switch these out. Bada boom. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Share the results. Stop the poll. You guys are thinking TNXP at the bell. TNXP and then CEI. So you guys have TNXP first, and then you guys have CEI right after. And that's where you guys are looking. Not many votes on NNVC. Well, actually, NNVC and SAEX is tied. So let's see. I mean, a little bit, kind of split. Little bit split right here. How's NNVC? Guys, I would definitely, I personally think if I had to pick one, I kind of think NNVC is going to do it. That's, if you had to say, Deck, what's your guess? I think it's NNVC. I think that one has a lot of potential just because I think traders are going to try to get this one going again. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to say NNVC is going to be the play that I think could get the most momentum behind it. Right now, that stock's not doing anything though yet. CEI, not doing anything yet. TNXP, not doing anything yet. Right now, though, NNVC is extremely jumpy. It's extremely jumpy right now, NNVC, and the stock is looking for that little $7 touch. So it just had the $7 touch. If it starts breaking through $7, I'm going to put NNVC on the top right here. Very jumpy play, a little bit all over the place. I'm actually going to turn on pre-market, but switch it over to a 2-minute time frame. Right now, there's no clear-cut play yet. Let's watch the high of the day momentum scanner. See which stock, brings in the most momentum towards it. I personally think, again, NNVC is going to be the stock that's going to do it. It just seems like it has the most volume and has the most attention. Watch this stock, possible break of that $7 mark. You're going to be pushing up towards like $7.20, I think. Another $7 touch. There it goes, a little bit more. $7 touch still. Stock is starting to bring in a little bit more volume. 725 would be, again, probably the target. You can see it has a lot of good volume. And if you're saying, Deck, why did you pick this one out of all the other ones? This is just because, this stock is a previous top gainer. It was a supernova, and we just don't have really too much volume. There you go. There's a hit, 730. So, like CEI just doesn't have that much volume yet. SAEX doesn't have that much volume yet. To do what were the other ones? CEI, SAEX, TNXP just don't have that much volume yet. NNVC looked like it was the hottest one to me. So that's why I just wanted to give you guys that heads up right there. So right here, NNVC is the place so far that's had the best hype. Right now, just looking over to see if there's anything else. JMIA, NNVC. As I said also, guys, I think there's going to be a lot of mob shifts today. Right? I think there's going to be a lot of mob shifts where we are going to see like NNVC spike on up, and then I think NVC is going to start coming on down. And then I think SAEX is going to move up like 10 cents, and people are going to jump over there. And then it's going to come back on down. And then I think, CEI is going to try to go on a quick little move. And then I think it's going to come back on down. I think we are going to see a good amount of mob shifts today. So just be prepared for that. If you are late to a play, don't hop in on it. So if you're like, Deck, can I hop in on NNVC right here? Well, I think you're kind of getting it on the back half right now a little bit. It could hold that $7 mark for a little bit, maybe one more touch of that high of the day. But I think we're going to see a lot of mob shifting. And mob shifting is when a stock goes from volume goes from one stock to another, to another, to another. But right now, NNVC still has the volume, still has the hype. Look at that. SAEX, here's your little pop on that play. So I'm going to put SAEX on the top. And I'll put NNVC on the bottom. Just exactly as I called it. NNVC starting to fall. SAEX just got a 10-cent pop, or actually a 20-cent pop. But I think a lot of these plays are going to be quick up, then back on down. A lot of mob shifting today, so just be ready for that. NNVC back underneath $7, so we're good there. SAEX is going to start trying to get a little bit of hype. And now look at this, little mob shift. SNOA trying to get a little volume. SNOA now. SNOA is trying to steal a little bit of hype. SNOA hitting the new high of the day board, up towards around 660, 690. SNOA just got on about a nice $50 or 50-cent climb right here. We'll see how much more is left in the tank. And the moment SNOA starts coming on down, watch for TNXP to try to start getting a little bit of volume. If you are not in the play, do not do ring around the rosy. I don't want to see anyone doing ring around the rosy here. And what's that? Ring around the rosy is, oh my gosh, NNVC is spiking. So, I got to go run over there. Oh, wait a minute. SAEX just ran 20 cents, so I got to go buy over there. And now, Deck, look at SNOA just spiked. Oh, wow, that's crashing. Okay, well now TNXP is actually spiking. Guys, this is exactly to a T as what I expected. Every single play, spiking, falling, another play is going on up. So do not play ring around the rosy here. Find the one that you haven't played yet, or find the one that hasn't spiked yet that has potential, and look for an entry there. If the stock doesn't spike at all, okay, you can just get out at the same place you entered, no harm done. But the last thing you want to do is get into the play that just spiked just for you to lose on it. For example, SNOA. For example, NNVC. For example, any of these other plays. Right now, NNVC is still trying to hold on up though. What pattern is this over on NNVC? Do have a little pattern right here. And look at NNVC starting to drop a little bit. So I'm just watching to see what's going to be coming on up. Turn off pre-market. TNXP still trying to grind a little bit. Obviously, it's a lot of people are here and there, here and there, here and there. And that's how, right now this market is currently working. We have TNXP with a little bit of a small little bull flag pattern, and that's the tricky thing. As I said, guys, it's a tricky thing because what do we usually do? We usually wait for a little bit of momentum, hop in, and run with momentum. But the moment you hop in and run with the momentum is the moment that stock starts turning, and then another stock starts popping on up. And you say, oh man, why is this happening to me? Every time I hop into a play, it starts going red on me. Well, this is kind of what happens. This is a little bit of like a Friday schedule. So if you're wondering how I predicted this is just through experience, right? It'd be the same exact thing as, let's say, like Tony Romo commentating a football game. And he's going to be like, hey, watch this, play action pass and then a deep to the left. And then you're like, how does he know that? Well, he played as quarterback for the past, 15 years in the NFL. He knows what, the offense is setting up as. Same exact thing if I'm looking at these plays going for, hey, watch the mob shifts all Friday. How do I know that? I've been trading for the last 6 years. So that's why, right now, if you haven't pulled the trigger on anything, don't just be buying at the top. TNXP trying to push though a little bit. So TNXP trying to push a little bit. $2 is going to be tough resistance. Let's just go over all our top gainers. What we have our top gainer wise. TNXP trying to run up to $2 does have support currently at 185. Everyone listen up. Support TNXP 185. Target $2. SAEX hasn't done anything yet over on SAEX. Support $3. Resistance 325. Break of 325 could get volume. Crack of $3. That stock's going to be done. NNVC, no longer a bull flag pattern. Looks like it's more starting to arch its way on down. That's where it's starting to get a little bit more ugly over on NNVC. CEI has cracked off. And again, a lot of these plays that crack off, guys, are also plays that were underneath their VWAP the whole time, right? So, I mean, like, CEI never got above its VWAP since what time? Since 8:30 this morning. That was the last time it was above its VWAP. What's one of the main things that we always want to do? We always want to buy stocks when they're on the bullish side of their VWAP. What does that black line tell us? That black line is a trend that tells us when a stock is currently bullish and it tells us when a stock is currently bearish. If we buy when a stock is currently bearish, right? That's just it's not a great thing. We're kind of already making the odds worse for ourselves. It's basically like shooting a foul shot, and let's say we need to win, but we close our eyes on purpose. Right? Imagine you need to win a basketball game and you're shooting a foul shot and you're like, yeah, let me just make this a little bit more difficult for myself and close my eyes. That's what it's like buying on the VWAP on the bearish side. The stock has a much better chance of falling, but yet, still buying in on the play makes it not the greatest idea. So you always want to have all the odds in your favor. Look at TNXP. TNXP right here, a bullish side of the VWAP, has a lot more buyers can move on in on that play. Does that make sense for everyone? And this should be things that you guys should already know, of course. But it's all about making the odds all in your favor. If the odds aren't in your favor, what's the point of getting in on it? There is no point at all. Be bullish above the VWAP. Have an uptrend. Have news. Have volume. So I just want you guys thinking differently. I want you guys to go through every single play and think about it, not with your emotions on how much I can make. I don't want to be blinded and starstruck from people. I want to make sure that I'm being a smart trader so I can make consistent money every single day. All right, so right now we're still watching TNXP to see if this stock's gonna be able to break on up. KTOV needs to get above that $1 mark. Again, same exact thing. TRIL was a top gainer yesterday. Look at this guy's TRIL. TRIL top gainer yesterday, starting to hit the board a good amount. Starting to definitely take some nice attention here. Looking for probably that $5 touch. So TRIL, yep, this stock is doing really consistent. This stock went from $4 up to 4.50, consolidated. Now again, getting a nice little push. $5 to be the target. And let's take a look over how is pre-market on this play. TRIL didn't do anything in pre-market. So this stock did nothing in pre-market, saved it all for the actual day. And sometimes that happens where we see stocks again, start spiking during the actual day rather than in pre-market, where sometimes the pre-market gainers don't do much because they already gapped up. That does happen. It doesn't happen every single day, but sometimes when a stock, gaps up and they all start fading off, it doesn't really look too appealing for traders that want to hop in. So maybe a previous top gainer runs. And that's kind of the schedule, right? Every single morning when we wake up, we want to look at the top gainers, we want to read the best news, and then we want to look at all the previous top gainers to see if those can continue to move, if those can continue to climb. So TRIL right here, this is definitely a play that may try to look for a little bit of a pop and be able to move on up. TWMC, that was a top gainer yesterday. Yep, TWMC, this one, thank you Rapid for bringing that one back to our attention. Any break of 650, that's where that stock can get a little hype. TCON has just a little bit left. This stock is up towards 475. This stock has a 200-day moving average at 492. Most likely, again, that $5 mark is going to be some tough resistance. TRIL is going to try to push up to that $5 mark. Bounce play would be off 450. TRIL definitely has attention, definitely has hype. If you aren't comfortable buying up, near these highs because you think $5 is going to turn it down soon, look for a bounce play off the VWAP at that 450 mark. But this is kind of how Fridays work sometimes. TWMC, TWMC trying to get a little bit and also a little bit more of SAEX here. A little bit of SAEX. But right now you can see TWMC is a little all over the place. And why is TWMC all over the place? That's looking for that $7 break. Notice, yesterday, where did the stock close at? Right along the $7 mark. So if it can re-break this line right here, this orange line going across the board, I'll even put this, in red. If it can re-break that $7 mark, that's where the stock could possibly start picking on up. But the troubling thing is, how many stocks have we seen so far hit resistance and start coming back on down? A good amount, right? Nearly every single play that has hit a little bit of resistance has come back on down. Little Sino NNVC trying to work its way back on up. NNVC trying to work its way back on up. This was a top gainer right at the bell, start fading. But notice how many times I'm jumping right now from TWMC to NNVC to, hey guys, SAEX starting to move on up to, hey, let's make sure we keep our eyes peeled over on CEI, or maybe TNXP could start moving a little bit. It's very, very scattered right now. It's very jumpy as traders want to trade, but we see some people over here, some people are over there. The best breakouts happen when everyone's on the same play. And that makes sense, right? The best plays happen when everyone's on the same play because there's the most volume. If there's 100 people in the stock market and 95 of them are all on TWMC, I bet you TWMC runs to $8, $9, $10. But the thing is, 20 people are on TWMC, 10 people are on NNVC, 5 people are on SAEX, 22 people are on CEI, 3 people are on KTOV, and it limits our power because we're all separated. And you might say, well, Deck, why don't we all just hop on, why don't we all just get on the same play then? Well, it's kind of hard to organize, how much people, 6.4 billion people in the world, right? I'm not saying every single one of those people trade, but I'm saying, traders are going to trade whatever they want at the end of the day. A lot of times when we get these supernovas, it's kind of like everyone's on the same page and the stars align. So that's how we usually see these big time rips and runs. But right now, everyone's kind of picking their own play and staying to it. People say I want TWMC, but it doesn't have enough to break $7. People are saying, hey, I want to be able to buy NNVC. Right now, that one's trying. Could possibly get a little bit of hype. Some people are saying I'm sticking with SAEX. That's having trouble at 335. So again, get outside. Think differently. Think differently. Right now, NNVC is trying to move on up. Yep. You gotta. It's all about the power of the people. That's where the power should be, in the people, right? But right now, the people are a little bit being more individuals right? And then I'm not saying it, no one's doing anything wrong. You guys aren't doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just, that's how, right now the stock market is in the penny stock world. Just people basically all liking one play, and everyone's trying to figure out what plays the best, and it's hard as everyone's, moving around. So right now, NNVC, keeping our eyes peeled. TWM, questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know right now. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know right now. Right now, I mean, this whole entire week, what has been the number one thing? What has been the number one thing this whole entire week? That virus, right? Coronavirus. That's been the number one thing all week. If that's been NNVC spike, if that was NVAX's spike, if that was NTPR spike or MPTR, that spike. We have seen massive rips. Also yesterday, what was a great spike yesterday that just came out with the offering? That was a very nice move. Blanking out a little bit on that one. I'll figure it out in 2 seconds. What was it? Oh, CODX. Remember CODX? That one had a very big gap up. That's how I was able to make my big gain yesterday of roughly $500. So, what did I have on this play right here? CODX also came out with an offering. Isn't it crazy? Every single top gainer this week came out with a offering. The only one that didn't come out with an offering this week was TWMC. But every other top gainer came out with an offering, and it was the ones that were all in the healthcare sector related to the vaccine, related to the coronavirus. Now, the coronavirus is definitely still something that's relevant right now. I mean, obviously, but it for some reason right now we're not seeing as many those healthcare plays right now. We saw them spike up yesterday in the morning, but then we didn't see anything throughout the day, and we didn't see anything yesterday, or excuse me, this morning with the coronavirus. But it is still rising, right? We still have coronavirus. Death toll rises to 26 with more than 900 confirmed cases worldwide. So, that is still getting bigger, and that means keep your eyes peeled for anything related to the coronavirus or anything that has to do with vaccine. So, any sort of vaccine company, that's definitely very important. Okay? So, any vaccine company in the healthcare sector, those are the ones you want to be looking at. Those are the ones you want to be focusing on. So, if you want to take this weekend and be like, hey, I just want to find all vaccine companies that are in the healthcare sector, those are the ones that have the biggest climbs, right? NNVC, our supernova this week, profile, healthcare. What does this do? It has treatment for viral infections. So, it's right there. The other good one that didn't spike this week was AEMD. And AMD hasn't done anything yet, but AMD this play is healthcare, and what this does, it designs a device that removes life-threatening viruses. So I think AEMD still one you want to watch because that's also a 1 million in float play, but AMD has not had any sort of big time potential yet towards it. Yeah, the stock market does get very trendy. It definitely does. Gets very trendy. Right now, a little MGN ran up towards around that $1 mark. Right now, we're about 21 minutes in the market, and so far, it's been exactly as I predicted on the fact that we're going to see a lot of different spikes. And that's how sometimes the penny stock works. Now, is there anything going on in mid caps? Anything going on in mid caps? Anything going in with blue chips? Again, I don't really look at those as much. So, if Rapid, Iggy, Yama, any blue chip players, what are you guys thinking today so far? Definitely check out some of those plays. INTC. What we got over here? So Rapid looking towards INTC. You guys can definitely check out that play, right? So, just because let's say penny stocks aren't moving doesn't mean everything's dead. It just means again you may need a little bit of a bigger account. Let's see, MGEN starting to move, just broke through $1. This stock looks like it's about to get halted. This stock just come out with any sort of news? Is there any news on MGEN, or did this just MGEN? What happened here? January 24th. That's today, right? January 24th presents new clinical trial data. To present new clinical trial data at upcoming conferences. Okay, I mean, the thing is, that's not the biggest press release in the world. It's only phase one trial. This thing may have just. If I had to honestly take a guess, to be completely honest, I will probably go out on a limb and say there's probably a big group of traders somewhere that all bought MGEN, and now since there's nothing else going on, other people hopped in and it broke $1, so then it got a little bit more volume and now it got halted. So if I had to take a guess, I would say this probably started from some sort of pump. Then again, breaking $1, I would say, traders hopped in on it and that's why it just got halted. Now, does it have volume? Yes. Can you make money on it? Yes. But how long can it go? That depends on how long basically that one group that started it wants to hold it. So we do have MGEN halted, which is something we want to definitely keep our eyes peeled on. This stock did have a.
All right, I'm gonna pop on the mic real quick, mute him for a second. So this is an example right here of where I would go in and edit a trade. So I bought 4,000 shares as it was getting halted. Orders were still going through, obviously on my other screen, but let's see, 9:52:12. 9:52:09. Okay, the second order maybe not, but the first order for sure. But it filled me at 113, so I have to go in and edit. You gotta apologize for my son there. So I would edit this to where I got in at 111 because that's the halt price. I mean, there's no orders that went through over 111, so that's when I would go in and edit. So
it just caught a little bit of fire here. Now, can you make money on it? Absolutely. But it all depends on how long basically this group of traders wants to hold it before they dump it off. So this is going to get unhalted at 9:57 and 12 seconds. Let's go AGRX. Any thoughts on that play? I would just say, since it is getting a little bit higher up in the top right-hand corner, I think this would be more of like a weekly swing. And as long as it holds above that 13 EMA of 293, that's the most important thing. Do I think it's a play right now? I see it more as kind of like just more of like a swing trade or some sort of like long-term play. And then you could basically just put it on the trend line, or you can just see it right at the 13 EMA. So that's what I see it more as. More of like you hold it for a few weeks until it cracks that trend line. 340 holding up as a little bit of resistance right now. So let's see what MGEN does when it comes out. You can, if you want to, an option that I would look at. It looks like we're going to be having a gap up. What you could do is right when it gets out of this gap up, market order in, maybe look for about 5 to 10 cents with maybe 3,000, 4,000 shares and be able to get out with a quick little profit. That's definitely a possibility. Or what you can do is look for a quick pullback and maybe you could get filled before it goes up and tries to touch a new high. So that would probably. It looks like it's going to have a gap up though. It looks like it's going to have a gap up. I would say watch for a quick pullback though. Maybe you can grab a small little bounce. So I mean, we can look for that maybe. MGEN, the small little bounce play. But it looks like it's going to have a gap up regardless because a lot of people are trying to get in on this thing. So let's see. I mean, just to have some fun. I definitely want to trade. I know you guys love when I trade as well. So let's see what I can do here. Let's see what I can do here. Maybe just make a little fun trade here on like 1,000 shares or so and see if I can make any magic happen. NNVC trying again. NNVC has been a little creeper. NNVC has been a little creep in play. This was the supernova. This has been NNVC, the biggest spike of 2020. So that's why I feel like people don't want to give that play up just yet, right? NNBC trying to get a little third touch breakout coming on up, right? If you put a line right here, we have our 1 touch, we have our 2 touch, we have our 3 touch. Right here, the stock is looking for that possible third touch breakout. Shane, do you look at the level 2 to see if it'll have a gap up or not? Yeah, look at the bid. The bid is at 130 right now. The bid's at 130. The ask is at 130. So both are above 111 currently on MGEN. So most likely you're going to have a gap up. 127, 130. Okay, watch this. It opens up in 7 seconds. We should be seeing a gap up. No promises, but we should be seeing a gap up. And here we go. MGEN. There you go, 125. So it opened up at 125. Just look at the bid and ask to see where that's at. And then watch a little bit of a run up. A little bit of a quick run right there. Not too bad. Stock's going to have some support back down towards around this 120 mark. People are trying to get a nice little push here. People are trying to push this up. It looks like towards around 140. It looks like it may get halted again momentarily. It's about to get halted again. Ooh, it's going to be one of these plays, isn't it? It's going to be one of these plays where all it does is get halted, halted, halted. What's the target? Where are traders looking? Where do you think traders want to get this thing to? 148. Right? That's the target, obviously, that traders want to get this to, the 200-day moving average. So, yeah, everyone went flying in on that play, trying to move that play up to the 200-day moving average. That's where you'll start seeing a little bit of a sell-off. And then where would be the best bounce area? Probably the best bounce area, I would say, would be at this old Holt area around 125. So again, right here, guys, if you don't know, whoop, this area, this would just be your target. So that's simple as that. Looking at MGEN, if you're saying to yourself, how high can this go? That's going to be the first level, and that's also going to be like one of the main levels. But I'll look for a bounce play off the old 125 where it opened up at. So I just want to type this out right here, so we're all good. If you guys have not heard, again, the news, which I'm sure all you guys have heard probably already, is our new streamer is starting up on February 10th, I believe he's starting. If you guys do not know who he is, his name is John Papa. Make sure you guys go check him out. You guys can see right here. All right, guys, here it is. Starting next month, I'll be live streaming on Tradecaster. I'll be sharing my screen, giving live commentary, and interacting with everyone in chat. I'm targeting around February 10th to start streaming. So if you guys do not know, again, John Papa, great trader. You'd see, definitely a big trader over on Twitter. And you guys can go ahead and check him out. He's going to be live streaming his trading coming on up starting around February 10th. There's also going to be a few other traders that are going to be announcing that as well. An options trader, a forex trader. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. But there's kind of one of the first guys going to be live streaming along myself. Yep, New England trader. Will he have videos in the video library? Yep. As he goes, I'm sure he'll record his screen and he can just throw them up in the video library. MGEN, the stock is going to get unhalted in about 2 minutes. As always, guys, we can just go to our NASDAQ.com Holt, and we can see MGEN got halted at 9:57 and 46 seconds. So what does that tell us? That all we got to do is add 5 minutes, and that is going to tell us when the stock is going to get unhalted, and that is going to be 10:02 and 46 seconds. So all you got to do, so many people ask me that. All you got to do, guys, very simple, very easy, is just add 5 minutes to wherever it got halted, and that's usually where it would come out at. If it doesn't come out at that 5 minutes, then it could be a 10-minute hold. If it's anything past 10 minutes, then you really probably don't want to even be playing it anyway. If anything, I think we could see a possible bounce play. Be able to make some money over there. Small little fun trade that I'd be looking at. I want to see it hit that 200-day moving average, come back down, get a nice little crack. So that's what I would be looking at to see if the stock is going to be able to come back on down. Be able to make some nice money. Be able to make a nice little profit. All right, here it comes. Coming on out. Zildjian fan, what's with your level 2? None. Right now, the stock is currently halted. So Zildjian fan, level 2 isn't moving at all because it's currently halted. You might see the bid and ask, jump around a little bit. That's the market maker setting up the orders on where it's going to be coming on out. Yeah, so if it's bouncing all around, that's just the market makers moving the bid and the ask to make everything even. All right, this stock is going to get unhalted in a couple seconds here. Here it is. Oop, a little bit of a pullback right there. We can actually see the stock had a little bit of a drop. And let's see if we can be able to get filled, maybe for a little bit of a quick profit if the stock does want to come back on down. So open on up, quick little drop. And again, the target is still that 200-day moving average. I may look for a quick little bounce play here. I believe, traders may want to keep on pushing this thing on up. So right now, again, MGEN starting to come back on down right along these times. So MGEN, I'm going to go for a little fun trade here on my, very small account. Just got filled 600 shares at the price of at that 125 mark, and then my last 600 shares, or partially of my 600 shares, just got filled. There it is, 1,200 shares. So I have a cost basis of 123. Let's see if I'm able to, get out with any sort of profit right here. If it goes below, I'm going to give it down to 115 for a possible bounce. And then if it does start going below that, then I'll get out for a small gain. But I'm going to let this rock for a little bit. I'm going to look for a little bit of a bounce play back up towards around like that 130-ish mark. 1,000 shares. Let's see if I can make, a quick little buck here and there. So right now, again, I was just looking for a small little bounce. Got in, cost basis 123. Looks like it may get halted again. Let's see though. Oh, we're still good, still alive. I wanted to see this push over that 130-ish mark one more time, and that would be awesome. That's where I could sell. So the bid's at 125. That's what I really want to see. Bids above 125. Gonna give this again. I got 1,200 shares in on this play. Looking for a break of 130 to run back up towards that 140 mark. If you're asking why did I get in at the cost basis of this area, let's see, 49K order, 49K order. We'll start locking in a little bit as we go right here. 49K order though, still looking good. I'm gonna sell this right here. All right, cool. I'll take $100, $100 gain. I'll take a nice little $100 gain right here. Not too shabby. And there's my P&L. So there's my P&L. Small little $100 gain. Just, why not? $100 is more than what I had a few minutes ago. So, pays for lunch, pays for a nice dinner right now over in the city. Just I can go there alone by myself tonight, Friday night, sit down, have Antonio come over, pour me a nice little glass of wine, eat a little steak, and, give him a little $100 tip. Okay, so I'll take a small little $100 gain, and that was just more of a fun trade, and just going off of a bounce play. So if you guys are saying, Deck, how did you know that we were going to see some sort of bounce at this area? Why did you get in at 120 and 125? Well, because I expected that 125 was going to be the bounce area, but if we got selling towards it, or a decent amount of selling, that it may go slightly lower. So I put an entry at 120. This is a perfect example of what? Scaling, right? This is a perfect example of scaling. And what did we do this week when we talked about, buying into plays? How you want to have multiple orders. If a stock is starting to fall, right? Stock is falling, 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 and we think support is going to be right here. What do we want to do? An imaginary 10 or an imaginary box, right? Around our order. What I usually do is usually about 3 different orders. I'm going to do 500 shares right here. I'm going to do 1,000 shares right here, and I'm going to do 500 shares right here. So I get filled on my first 500, I get filled on my main, and I get filled on my last 500 if the stock again keeps on coming. And then breaks on out, then I'm all good. If the stock only fills my first 500, my 1,000, well then I'm filled and it keeps on going on up. Or if the stock only fills, let's say my first 500 and starts moving on up, then I'm good. Right? Look at this, bounce play all the way up to 140 now. But why did I pull the trigger? Why did I do this, guys? Multiple entries, so I'm always moving my cost basis down. I could just have a 125 bounce play, but then I'm going to have to wait for the stock to be able to shoot all the way back on up for me to be able to make good money. If I wanted to, I could do 125 and 120. And that would be able to bring my cost basis down. So it only needs to go up to like here and I'll be able to make more money. Right? So this is why we do 3 different entries or 2 different entries. We scale our way in on different shares to lower our cost basis. If we only get filled on the top one, hey, that's fine. That's all right. So that's what it's all about right there. And MGEN about to get halted, it looks like once again. And that's a nice bounce. If you're saying right now, all right, Deck, I understand about scaling, but why did you pick 125 and 120? Well, that's just because this was the old unholt area. The old unholt area, little heads up for you guys, if you guys don't know, is usually where the stock bounces at. So the last unholt area is usually where the stock will bounce at. But this just got halted once again, moving on up. So far, nice move though. So far, nice move. Good action, good activity. If anyone has any questions or comments or concerns on that trade, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to help you guys out. But that was just a small little fun trade, just because I wanted to trade before I'm done on the day. So I just wanted to get something going, and just wanted to make a little bit of money right there. Trade life kicking myself, saw the $1 break and didn't get in. The catalyst wasn't there. I mean, hey, that's smart. You're just being a smart trader, and I definitely understand that. But right here, I wasn't going to chase at the top. If anything, I was just looking for a bounce. Right? I'm not buying at resistance. And the thing is, when the stock is at $1 and you're seeing it, you're saying, "Oh, I know $1 is a strong resistance line." It's tough sometimes, especially for what we have seen. Right? What have we seen so far? 99% of stocks spiked on up and came on down. So no one really expects you to say, "Oh, the stock's going from 80 cents to $1. It's going to have another 50 cents." Why is that? Because again, every 9 out of 10 plays spiked and dumped on down at resistance. The majority of people are going to be thinking the same exact thing. Once the stock did break $1, there's still that group of traders that kept it going, kept it alive, and has gotten multiple holds now that kind of put it on the map for everyone. So I wasn't doing the same thing. I wasn't going to buy at resistance. If anything, I'll buy at a strong support line on a bounce play. Stock will move right on up. All right, so right here, this stock is going to be getting unhalted very shortly. And again, still the main target is that 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average still the main target. What are you guys looking at? Rapid is looking over on a little bit of APT. APT's been a nice play. So again, good job over there. That's another nice play. It's always great, myself alerting. Rapid's always alerting some plays. Iggy, Yama, always alerting some great plays. And on top of that, you don't even need to be, a top trader to, be alerting stocks. You guys do so many great ones on your own as well. So it's absolutely awesome. So again, great job, great work. So MGEN, this stock should be getting unholted in the next few minutes here. What time was this halt at? MGEN got halted at 10:07 and 55 seconds. That means this one is getting unhalted in about 20 seconds. 20 seconds over on MGEN. This looks like we should be having a gap up. The bid is at 150. The ask is at 155. I think this is the one that's going to be touching the 200-day moving average. I think this is going to be the one that's going to be touching the 200-day moving average. It's going to be really crazy. Imagine like inside a beehive. That's what I feel like the level 2 is going to look like when this thing opens on up. And what do I mean by that? Just going all over the place in every single direction. All right. So what do we have right here? Actually opened right at the same area. Opened up at the same price. No gap up, no gap down. Stock still has not been able to touch that 200-day moving average just yet. Had a little bit of a new high of the day up towards around 145. Now it's starting to turn though slightly. Ooh, and now I think it's about to get halted on the downside. He's all just all over the place in every direction. So I had a quick new high of the day of 145. It did hit a 145 high of the day, and that's where traders had enough's enough and started turning it. And notice again, it come right just shy. 145 was the high of the day. The 200-day moving average is at 148. So 3 cents short. 3 cents short. Yeah, and this is a play that all it is going to do is just get halted nonstop. Z99, why did MGEN spike? Personally, I think this started with some sort of pump out in the world. There is a press release behind it. So if you look right here, MGEN does have new clinical data, which it's going to be presenting at upcoming conferences, which again doesn't tell us anything about the data. Usually the stocks that spike is going to be press releases that tell us the data and what the results are. Also, it's only phase 1 data, which isn't that good. If it goes phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, I always think about it as like a mad scientist. Phase 1 is basically just going out and buying your equipment. Phase 2 is actually trying experiments, and phase 3 is actually getting a result. So, kind of think of it like that. Phase 1, you go out to Walmart, you buy some test tubes and, some weird little like weird little tools. Phase, 2 is, you start, you have some mice or whatever, and you start setting some things up. Phase 3, you're actually doing some results and, getting down to a conclusion. So, phase 1 is always the weakest. Now, again, that's not actual, what it is, them testing things on mice or anything like that and going to Walmart. But that's how I just always try to think of it, just because it's really easy to distinguish which one's the strongest and which one's the weakest. Phase 1 is barely anything. Now, with that being said, this stock did come out with that press release. You want to say, well, Deck, could it just start spiking on a Friday? Well, this press release came out at 7:21 a.m. Did this stock do anything from 7:21 all the way until 9:30? No. If it was really that good of a press release, it would have ran at 7:21, 7:30, 8 o'clock, any time in pre-market if this press release was remotely good. It's not like a press release comes out and says, hey, we have the cure to cancer, and every single person who takes our vaccine will never get, any sort of cancerous diseases. What do you think that press release would lead to right away? It would be a massive spike in pre-market. It would be a massive spike in pre-market. It'd be huge. It'd be ginormous. Big press releases don't wait until 9:47 to start spiking on off. So I do think it's because what happened today? Well, SAEX didn't do anything. NNVC spiked and started coming on down. TNXP didn't do anything. SNOA didn't do anything. CEI didn't do anything. These were our top gainers in pre-market. CEI, SNOA, TNXP, SAEX, and NVC. These were all our top gainers in pre-market. All 5 of them didn't do anything. So I think a lot of traders said, hey, is there anything that like maybe we could possibly pump on up a little bit? Is there anything that we can maybe, get something going? Shh. Like that. And then what happens? Then it's like everything faded on off and comes up towards around 10 o'clock. Hey, you guys all want to buy MGEN? So that's what I assume what happened somewhere out in the world. And then from there, it just caught fire. Like, why are we looking at it? Because we can definitely look at some scalp plays. Why are we looking at it? Well, it is the best mover as of now, just like other traders are looking at it. It may have started all with some sort of pump, but people are going to be like, hey, nothing else going on. I'll join in on this pump and I'll just get out if it starts falling. But then it kept going and going, and it broke $1, and then kept going, and then got halted, and then it kept going. And just like we're looking at it, other people are looking at it, and other communities are looking at it. So it kind of just turns it into like the most volume, top play. So that's kind of what we have right on this stock at this time. Now I bet MGEN, if this stock starts going below 119, if MGEN starts going below 119, that's probably where the stock is going to start getting halted. So if the stock goes below 119, that's probably when it's going to start getting really unhalted, or that's what it's going to get unhalted and on the downside and probably start killing it off a little bit. So we are back. We are live right here. MGEN starting to go underneath this 119 mark. If it starts getting a little bit more selling, I think it's going to get halted, and that's when it's going to start piling on a little bit of pain. Some traders are trying to get one more bounce here. Some traders are trying to get one more bounce, but that is risky because if it starts, going 119, 118, 117, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of stop losses get hit. Little side note, little rapid play over there, and a couple other traders. APT. APT just hit a new high of the day. Right, so little pop over there on APT if you guys are still looking in that. Again, very difficult day. Do not feel like, oh wow, I haven't been able to play anything yet. I haven't been able to touch anything. I played one stock and ended up with a small loss. Deck played a play and he won. Don't feel any sort of regret or don't feel any sort of discouragement if you did not trade today, or if you took a small loss, or B, if you took a small win. Some people get upset when they take a small win because they want more. That's okay. Don't feel any sort of discouragement today because it's been a pretty difficult day in the penny stock world. A lot of different plays have been spiking. A lot of plays come up that look good and just drop right back down. And for a newer trader, it definitely looks appealing to hop in on some of these plays, hoping it keeps on ripping and running, and then it just dumps on you. So if you have maybe some sort of small win or small loss and you wanted more, don't be discouraged. It is a Friday. This is what we see sometimes. It's all about just being smart. And that's a huge part of it, having discipline. So we're going to give this market, another 20 minutes or so. But, I just wanted to get a nice little fun trade in and, go from there. Right now, BPMX is trying to move on up a little bit. BPMX, what pattern is this? Nice little, nice. I don't want to call it out. You guys can call it out. Every single person should know this pattern right here over on the daily chart. This is, there we go. Thank you. Whew, I did not want to say it. Mid candle breakout pattern, right? We have a nice big spike right here. Stock falls right back down to the mid candle. Also on top of that, we have a nice little squeeze pattern. Not too bad, right? Mid candle breakout pattern. How many mid candle breakouts have we seen? Like, look at GENE. GENE. Nice spike right here. Red candle down to the mid candle of the spike. Next leg on up. A lot of nice mid candle breakout patterns. Little side note, APT still getting a little bit of volume. So we got APT still getting a little bit of volume. I'm going to put that on the top level too. I'm going to put MGEN on the bottom. And we also have BPMX still trying to get a little hype. So we do have, stocks to watch. Do have a few different plays right here. APT, MGEN, and then BPMX. So these are, the top plays at the moment that you guys would want to be looking at and you guys would want to be focused on. Faith Trader, let me check it out. SSI. SSI, as of now, on a Friday for SSI, I don't know if I would be touching this one just yet. It just has a lot of resistance above this play still, and I don't really see too many buyers towards it at this moment. So, I couldn't get myself an SSI, but if it's on your watch list, you have room to run up towards around that 13 EMA mark. APT trying to come back up towards around that $6 mark. Give me 1 second, team. Just want to get a quick drink. All right, so let's see here. Those are, again, kind of top plays that I would be focusing on: APT, MGEN, and BPMX. But as I said, not an easy day. You want to hop in for the $6 break back down towards around 580. You try to hop in on MGEN. It's a little bit all over the place. What patterns on MGEN? What pattern do you guys see on MGEN? We just saw a clear cut mid candle breakout pattern. All right, we saw a mid candle breakout pattern right here, right? And that's easy. That's clear cut. Everyone should know that. What pattern? Yeah, what stock was that right here on MGEN? You guys are already getting it. Awesome job. And that's an easy head and shoulders pattern, right? What's a head and shoulders pattern, guys? It's exactly what it sounds like. A head and shoulders pattern is when you see that format, and that would look like this: shoulder, head, shoulder, and then what happens? Then you have your arm where it drops on off. So I always kind of draw this out just so you guys can see it a little bit better. But that would be basically the head and shoulders pattern behind this play. This absolute jack guy. So your shoulder right here, your head right here, your shoulder right here, and then it drops on off. So you have 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are the three different parts of this stock. There we go. And there's our happy camper. So if we're looking at this play right here, where is our head and our shoulder pattern? 1, 2, 3. And then watch this stock to possibly crack in the near future. Yeah, that guy's juicing 100%. So watch for this stock to start rounding out in probably the next 5 minutes or so, and then the possible drop after the head and shoulders pattern. SAEX, be careful, guys. Be careful. SAEX now trying to make a little bit of a move. Thank you, Ranger, and thank you, AA, for putting that back on our map right here. The reason I get nervous is, I don't want people to be like, "Oh, here comes SAEX, buy it," and then it starts turning back on down. We are definitely starting to see a little bit more volume though in the second half right here of this morning, where we're seeing MGEN have a nice little head and shoulders pattern. APT ran up to $6. If that bounces off the VWAP and starts moving back on up, though, that would be a little head and shoulders pattern. I can see one shoulder here, this head starting to form. If it falls back down to this VWAP and then starts bouncing on up, it would be a head and shoulders pattern. We want to definitely stay on some sort of this trend line instead. So we definitely want to see this trend line hold instead. That would be much better than a head and shoulders pattern, obviously. So over on APT, you guys have that play. MGEN, I'd say give it 5 more minutes, and this thing's going to start coming back on down soon. SAEX, we could definitely check that out. SAEX, if this could get back above 325, 330. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to help. If there's any play that you want me to go over on why it spiked, please ask me. We've gone over MGEN. A lot of the top gainers do have news towards them, but the reason why it's so spread out, the reason why it's so difficult was, what did we see in pre-market? We saw about 8 different, low float stocks all be top gainers. Now that looks like a really good thing. We're saying, wow, 8 low float stocks, all top gainers. This is absolutely perfect. Well, what's the problem with that? What's the problem with having 8 low float stocks that are top gainers? Is that, you know, traders just don't know which one to choose. So when we woke up this morning and we saw at the bell, NVCN start spiking, and SAEX start, trying to move, and TNXP trying to move, and CEI trying to move, and all these other low float plays all trying to move, and then not breaking any sort of resistance lines. It's because traders were all spread out between the 5 to 6 to 7, whatever, and we didn't have the momentum towards just one. And that's what made today so difficult. Not only is it a Friday, not only is this what we always kind of worry about with our Friday trading days, is that we had so many different options and lower volume on this type of day that we just didn't have basically everyone all in the same plan. And that's why we see stocks run up to resistance and then fall back down very shortly. Because for a stock to get a breakout, you need your first push, your first big push of volume, and then you need more buyers to come in to continue to push that stock on up. If you only have the first wave of buyers, the first initial people who get in, no one's there to push that stock even higher. So what happens? Those people who initially bought in, they start locking out their profits, and the stock just comes right back on down. For a spike to happen, you need multiple waves of buyers. You need the initial people to get in, the stock spikes on up. And then you need another round of people to come on in to break resistance. And then more people would come on in to keep it going even higher. And then the same people who bought in earlier may jump back in to try to make some more money. And then so you constantly have people buying it. But if everyone picks their own play and says, I'm stubborn and I'm only staying on this play, what's going to happen? Every single stock gets one little pop of buyers, which brings like random traders to it. And then everyone sells and everyone just loses. So that's what makes it, pretty difficult. So I'm just kind of looking at NNVC. Look at this, NNVC starting to pop on up again. This was again the supernova. So this play trying to get a little bit of volume. Now this one was our lunch hour spike yesterday. This one started spiking around like 12 o'clock yesterday. So we want to see how much more is in the tank on NNVC. See if this one's going to be able to continue to move on up. So I'm going to put NNVC up on this top level too. Notice also MGEN. This play, here comes the shoulder. So we have our head, we have our, or excuse me, we have our shoulder, our head, and now we're coming down to our second shoulder right here. And NBC does have, yep, exactly 740, 7, I would say like 735-ish support. Right now, NNDC starting to get a little bit of a push. Now, again, if you're not in on this play, no reason to freak out. No reason to say, "Oh, I'm missing it. I'm missing it. Gotta get in. Gotta get in. Gotta get in." You're absolutely good. You're fine. There's a million plays to come. I promise. Sometimes I get an email of someone saying, "Deck, I'm just so discouraged in myself. I missed the top gainer of the day this day." And the most beautiful thing about the stock market is that every single day you're going to see brand new, brand new spikes, brand new breakouts, brand new runs, brand new rips, right? Every single day. And that's the most beautiful thing about the stock market is if you mess up one day, you get a complete fresh slate, coming up in the future. So there should never be, any sort of discouragement if you, let's say, you miss a spike or you miss a move or you don't get the best entry that you wanted. Every day is going to have spikes. Every day we're going to see breakouts. Some days will be better than others, but it's all about staying positive and always seeing what we have. But I know we've had so many different random rips today, and that's why I say that. Right now NNVC starting to get some good action, starting to get some good activity. Yeah, Bond. Hey, I've been there. As I said, yeah, I'm only saying these things off of experience. I've there has been a million times before. And if you think about it, if you get discouraged on every single spike you've missed, so it's like there's so many spikes out there. You're not going to nail them all no matter what. It's like no one is nailing NNVC, who also nailed MGEN, who also nailed a bounce play over on SAEX, who also nailed a quick morning spike over on SNOA. It's fine, right? Don't put yourself in a half, drinking glass position. And what do I mean by that? Like half empty glass, where you're just, being pessimistic. Find the play, make some money, you're good. Like today, I made $100, more than what I started with. It's a Friday, really choppy day, just making some money and enjoying my Friday. Right now, nice spike right here, right? This is getting a very nice move. And this stock, where's this stock going to be looking up to? You guys probably already know. Where does this stock want to go? This stock is going up towards 875. That's again the target that this thing wants to go. Exactly, King Trades, 875. And this thing has not been able to break 875 yet. And there we go. Look at that high of the day, 874. Cracks me up, guys. Cracks me up on how, like, if you just when we study these patterns, we can literally almost figure out the exact pinpoint location on where these stocks are going to be, looking to go to. So 875 is where I expected this play to go up to. Where'd it go up to? 874. Deck, you were a penny off. Okay, okay, I gotcha. A penny though. Jimbo, why 875? This, oh man, 875 video library. Watch this lesson right here. 875 rule. The 875 number is not just a regular number, Jimbo. It is a number of the gods. Okay, so what we have right here, let me post this. Watch this lesson. It is crucial. So watch that today, and that's going to help you out a ton. So we're gonna have this consolidate. Let's give this a few minutes right here. See if it's gonna be able to hold on up, and then we'll see if this could possibly break out through that 875 mark. But the tough thing is, again, how much scattered volume? How many plays have we looked at, stared at for like 10 minutes, maybe hopped in on a play for every now and then it starts fading and the new play comes on up. So, we've been seeing that a lot, where we're all watching MGEN for a little bit, or we're watching NNVC for a little bit, or we watch, a BPMX for a little bit. And, we're seeing that a lot. Nope, here's a little pop. Got up to 890. 890 so far. 893. And this one is just, if you're asking Deck, what's going on with NNVC? Well, NNVC was a top gainer yesterday. NNVC was a top gainer yesterday. NNVC was the first supernova of 2020, and traders are trying to get action back in on this play. On top of that, if you're saying, well, what even started NNVC spiking on Tuesday? The coronavirus. NNVC is a low float stock that their company works on treatments in viral viruses, such as such as the coronavirus. So NNVC started getting a lot of attention on Tuesday, when that really started hitting a lot of the news boards. Today, the news is we have over 900 cases now of this coronavirus, and is spreading into multiple countries. So NNVC is still a hot stock that traders are running over to right now, as people are saying, hey, this has a lot of hype, this has a lot of attention, and this stock right here, supernova from a Tuesday, people are wanting to make some money here. Let's see what we have over on CNBC.com. This looks like it may get halted soon. Okay, so we have our second case. This just came out. This could be a big reason. So top news. CDC confirms second U.S. case of coronavirus and is monitoring 63 other possible infections. Well, that's not fun. So yeah, Chicago resident. The U.S. health officials said they diagnosed a second patient with the China coronavirus after a Chicago woman returned from Wuhan with the infection. So this woman was in China and then came home. They are currently monitoring 60 other potential cases here. The case is currently being monitored in the U.S., stretched across 22 different states, including the first patient in Washington state and the new case in Illinois, Chicago. Officials said the patient, a woman in her 60s, is currently doing well and is in stable condition. She remains isolated in a hospital as a precaution. U.S. health officials said the Illinois patient traveled to China in late December and began experiencing symptoms when she returned to the U.S. last week. Upon returning to the U.S., the patient had very limited movement from her outside her home and did not use public transportation or attend any gatherings. CDC believes the immediate risk to the U.S. public is low at this time, but the situation is evolving rapidly. We have our best people working on this problem. The flu-like coronavirus, first identified on December 31st, has already killed at least 26 people and infected more than 900 worldwide. So that's why right here, all of a sudden NNVC is starting to spike. So this is the reason why NNVC is starting to spike. NNVC spiking. This is a top gainer from Tuesday. This runs as it is a vaccine company and brand new news from the coronavirus as it is now in Chicago. So that's why this is running. And we also should still keep our eyes on NVAX, AEMD. And then what was Friday's top gainer, or NTRP? Yeah, these are other ones that went on some nice rips and runs. So that's the reason why. Does that make sense for everyone? Does that make sense on why this penny stock is now spiking? It's spiking because this news just came out. This is a vaccine company, and everyone's saying, "Hey, all right, where are people going to go look to buy?" or they're looking to buy right here at this vaccine company. So a lot of hype and a lot of volume going back in here as we just got basically news that the coronavirus has spread slightly. Now, I do not bring these things up. Just a little heads up to scare you. I'm not trying to say anything bad or anything along these lines. I just talk about current events because this is what can help traders make money. So it seems like thing when we talk about politics, right? Sometimes when we talk about the political world, I always say that disclaimer. I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about, what's happening in the world so we can make money in the stock market. Same exact thing. I'm not here to scare you and talk about, what this disease is doing to people and stuff like that. I'm just talking about on how you guys can make money from what's happening in the world. Juan, I was watching the 875 rule when NVVC started spiking and it hit 875. Yeah, see, it's pretty good. It's really good stuff right there. Right now, NNVC, we're going to continue to keep our eyes peeled on this play. See how much more this play has left towards it. LAKE. If you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, anything along these lines, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Right now, it's about 10:43 in this market.
All right, guys. What's up, guys? It is time for me to wrap it up. I went 15 minutes over. Still going to watch NNVC. I'm going to watch it right now, actually. Click over here real quick. So far, finishing down 26.35. I do have a pen and paper trade this morning on NNVC at the open, since we can't do it on the simulator. Hang on, getting up to high day here. We'll keep an eye on it. I think this thing has a lot more in it. I mean, the other day it spiked to 1325, 1330, 1345, something like that. So keep an eye on it. 31, 35, 38, 46. We can go ahead and jump in. Nope, just gonna pull back as soon as I get in. This happens so often. It's gonna pull back real hard. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap up the live commentary. Go ahead and get out of that. So, good luck on the rest of your day. Hopefully, everyone makes some money. I'm finishing down now, currently. Another $1,000, $3,600. So, anyways, we'll wrap it up. I'm going to factor in the pen to paper trade I made this morning. It was in NVC. I'll just go ahead and hang on. Let me set another alert here at the high of day. It was the first two candles. Got in 2,000 at 660 because I was definitely ready for it. 500 at 690, and I was writing them down as as I was going. 500 at 680 because it was pulled back, made me nervous. 500 at 88. Let's see. I think that was like almost right where this opened up. And then the last 500 at 730. As soon as it started to pop, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let it run. Ooh, it was almost the high of the candle. 1 penny below half a candle. So that was the first trade I took on it. And then after it pulled back, I decided not to get in on the simulator this morning. So I'm not sure how much that first trade would have been, because I like to scale out, so I have to plug it all in and go from there. But anyways, Jesus. Yep, my boy's happy. So, wrapping it up. Good God. See y'all Monday.